February 9th, February 16th, then you hop on your private jet, go to the UK.
Yeah, right. I wish.
February 16th, let's talk about Leo Santa Cruz. You've been with him for a while. How excited you have back-to-back cards here in LA? And
I've been with Leo for a long time. Yes, he's a great fighter. He's one of those volume punchers. I think he's actually in all of sports, from a pure volume point of view, he is the one which throws the most punches. Always in great fights. And I was just talking to him while he was getting ready to do the workout. He asked me, "What do you think about my opponent?" And I said, well, you know, first of all, I think that opponent is more dangerous than the first opponent. I think, but you know, there is no such thing for you to have an easy fight anymore, because you have a target on your back, and whoever it is who's going to go in the ring with you, if they can beat you, it's going to change their life, the life of their family. So you have a big target on your back, and they all want to knock you off the throne, because you are the best at 126 pounds, and so you know you can't expect an easy fight. And he said, I know that. So I think it's going to be a great fight. Styles I think mesh very well. It's going to be a great card. I mean, somebody asked just before about the Molina Figueroa fight. I think that is an absolute barn burner. You know it, and the main event will be an absolute barn burner. You're going to have King Carlos Balderas on the card as well, opening up the telecast. So top to bottom, just a great card. And you know what is the most amazing thing about this whole thing? I mean, to see like toe-to-toe action at LA Live. It's safe, it's clean, there are restaurants there, you can take your family there, and you can actually afford it. $30, $40. For $30, you can go and watch one of the stars of the sport in a slugfest, and as I said, top to bottom, one of the best cards I can remember. So very excited about it.
And you just mentioned it, fight cards in LA, you can go to LA Live and actually spend the whole day there. You can actually have lunch there, go to the Grammy Museum, go to the fight, and come back and have dinner whether you want it or not. It's a great venue. And speak to like boxing back in LA. This is our second fight.
You know, I've done the first fight ever at the Microsoft Theater. That was a while ago, and somehow it never really caught on. But I have to tell you, now it did. After the last fight, where we saw this sensational performance from Plan, becoming world champion, beating Skadegi. We had thousands and thousands of people there in the venue. You were there, you saw it. I mean, it was a great atmosphere. It's a beautiful place to watch fights. And you're right. I mean, it's safe, it's clean. You know, you don't have to about worrying where to park your car. I mean,
you can catch a train.
Everything is right there. So I do believe that very quickly the Microsoft Theater at LA Live, where this fight is going to be held, is becoming like the indoor war grounds of boxing, because we all know the outdoor war grounds are going to be next weekend, this coming weekend actually, on the 9th, with Gervonta Davis taking on his new opponent, which will be another barn burner. And you know, the fact that LA actually has responded so well, the fight fans have responded so well. There were really only very few ticket returns after, unfortunately, Abner had to pull out. That shows you the strength of Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis is quickly becoming a superstar in the sport. This is one of those guys, and you don't need 5 fingers to count them in the sport. He's one of those guys who talks the talk and walks the walk. And I think it's a bright future, and LA wants to see him. So that's at the outdoor war grounds, and then this one here is going to be at the indoor war grounds. So we're really very fortunate between those two great boxing venues, the Dignity Health, formerly StubHub, and the Microsoft Theater. And then, of course, right in the middle of the whole thing is the king of all venues, another place where you just never see a bad fight, and that's the Staples Center. So you know, we are very fortunate to have these great venues here in Los Angeles, and fight fans are showing up.
Now you got a February 23rd. You got Bermain Stavern against Joe Joyce, and he's trying to infringe himself upon the heavyweight division.
It's going to be funny to see my good old friend Don King again.
Oh yeah, Don, yeah.
Will be there.
That's going to be a fun press conference.
When I was reading his quotes in the press release that he's going to re-Choice when Choice gets beat. I mean, it's just a classic vintage Don King. But I have to tell you, Joe Joyce now is ranked number 5 in the world. He's like a George Foreman. He's not one of those heavyweights with a lot of speed or so. He is in the hurt business. He defines the hurt business. You get hit by him, you go down, and it's good night. And like George Foreman, you know. So it's great to have him in the heavyweight division. It's great for him to fight in his hometown in London.
Sure.
From another great venue, the O2. By the way, same ownership group like the Staples Center and those other ones I said. So a great venue. And it shows you with AEG, the owners of all these great venues, the T-Mobile as well in Las Vegas. The top guy there, the CEO, Dan Beckerman, is first and foremost a big boxing fan, very passionate, and he loves to bring these big fights to his venues. So yeah, we're going to have Joe Joyce at the O2, a great ITV pay-per-view in the UK. ITV in the UK is like CBS or ABC here in the United States. It's free over the air in every home, and this card is going to be topped by another great fight, the Gale against Eubanks, and actually Showtime is going to show it here in the US. So fight fans can watch the main event and they can watch the fight, which is going to steal the night. It's going to be Joe Joyce against Stavern, fast-rising heavyweight against the former world champion. So it's one of those fights, and I'm excited about being there ringside.
And about 2 weeks later, all of us are taking this caravan to Dallas. You have Mikey Garcia against Errol Spence, and you actually said something. I'll let you go into it. What's your take on Mikey Garcia, Errol Spence?
Well, you know, it's one of those fights which captures certainly the interest of any fight fan. Opinions are divided. Is it going to be? I mean, the fact is, it's two guys in the prime of their career, two guys world champions, two guys undefeated. One is a bit older, the other one's a bit younger. The one with the experience is clearly on Mikey Garcia's side. The size and the power is on Errol Spence's side. So it's a fascinating matchup, and you know, it's one of those matchups which we really only hardly ever see, maybe once in a generation if you're lucky. The question is who is going to win. But the bigger question really is, you know, we as fight fans, we know about this fight, and we will watch this fight, and we can't wait for this fight to happen. And I think to a big extent, sports fans in general are very fascinated about this matchup. But what is really at stake on March 16th in Dallas is something which is of interest to anybody, to the general public. You don't need to watch all these other fights. You can watch one and you know who will be the best fighter pound for pound in the world. And that's what's at stake. That's what's at stake on March 16th. Whoever wins that fight will be recognized as the best fighter in the world. That's what's at stake. And that is something which crosses over into the general market and gets the interest from the general public. And as a result, it's the kind of fight which we, as people in the boxing business, will be able to attract new fans to the sport. That's what Mikey Garcia and Errol Spence bring to the table.
Now, obviously, you're promoting Mikey Garcia, so you have a dog in the race.
No, actually, you know, Mikey is his own.
He sure is. Yeah.
Mikey is his own guy, so I'm not promoting Mikey, and so is Errol Spence. I'm promoting the best fight which can be made in the sport right now. That's what I'm promoting. So in a way, yeah, I don't have a dog in the race or whatever, or a horse in the race, whatever you want to call it. This is purely about promoting a fight which I believe, and many of us, if not all of us, believe is really the most fascinating match.
Very intriguing.
Which can be made in the sport. And it reminds me in so many ways about what a great boxing expert, Larry Merchant, once said when he came up with the idea about Pacquiao, the little Pacquiao, fighting Oscar De La Hoya back then. Granted, De La Hoya wasn't on top of his game anymore, but still, everybody saw that the bigger guy is going to win, and that's like the general wisdom in the sport. A great big guy will always beat a great smaller guy. So this is just, there's so many storylines, so many things. You can say that a great big man beats a great small guy, but then you can say another boxing saying, which is straight out of Floyd Mayweather's, and skills pays the bills, you know. So is it skills pays the bills, or is it a great big man beats a great small man? Which one is it going to be? There's so many storylines there, and I really can't wait to get that promotion started and show the world how great boxing is. And that is really the definition of great boxing. Two young guys in the prime of their careers, undefeated, multiple-time world champion, risking it all. Unbelievable.
Do you think if Mikey wins, he's bigger? I think, my humble opinion, if Mikey wins, he's bigger than just a megastar. He just slayed Goliath. He goes into like folklore history.
Well, you know, I was thinking about it as well, and if you think back, tell me one fighter where you can say this guy beat somebody of that magnitude. This guy stepped up, challenged, and won. I mean, I don't really remember any boxer, and I promoted some of the biggest names. And I mean, there were many great matchups, you know, and don't get me wrong, but somebody to actually have the balls and step up and move up these weight classes and risk it all, put it all on the line against another fellow world champion, undefeated, a much bigger, a much stronger guy. I mean, you just don't see this. You just don't see this. And Mikey could have gone much easier route.
Could have.
But that's not Mikey. And that is what makes a champion a superstar, and the superstar a legend. This is how legends are built. On those kind of challenges. And by the way, when you do go in for these kind of challenges, yes, everybody wants to win, but only one guy can win. Nobody will lose. Nobody will lose, because you have to hand it to Spence and you have to hand it to Garcia to take on these challenges. It takes two. And that's why I believe the winner of that fight will come out as the superstar in the sport, as the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world, because he dared to be great. He dares to be great. And the reward is the crown of pound-for-pound best fighter in the world. And I'm going to tell Jerry Jones, March 16th, Cowboy Stadium, we are going to crown the king. You better have a crown ready.
Oh, okay, we'll take that. My last question. Did you hear that Dillian White came over here to America, and
yes.
Did you get a chance to speak to him at all? Did
He was in Vegas.
He was in Vegas.
He was in Vegas. I actually didn't see. I just heard that he was there. I didn't see him. But yeah, so I think there are great challenges for him here. But I think there are great challenges for him over in the UK as well. Now PPC has a platform in the UK as well with ITV, so they're going to doing regular fights in the UK. And so any promotional free agent in the UK or who wants to fight in the UK, they know where to look. ITV has more eyeballs than Sky. ITV has more eyeballs than BP Sports.
Because it's free TV, right?
It's free TV. It's like an ABC or CBS here in the United States. So this is what that's what the BBC is all about. It's about eyeballs. Because if you want to become a star, you can only become a star if people see you. It doesn't matter how good you are. If you are not seen, then how can you become a star?
So there's no comparison.
It's about eyeballs, like here in the U.S. with Fox, you know, where you have millions of people watching these fighters. You saw with Kelly Plant, with others, you know, winning world titles, and that's how you capture the American public, the heart of the American public, if you can perform in front of millions of people. And that's going to be the same in the UK. So that's why any promotional free agent in the UK, hey, come join the PBC, and so let's
PBC about to take it's
going.
the takeover, the worldwide takeover, right?
Well, I don't think you know, worldwide you sort of like go step by step, because whatever market you go in, it's not just about we're in this market or in that market. It's about being in the market at the right time with the right platform. Just to be somewhere, and then you can offer these young fighters something different, something that you can really change their lives. Where you can have eyeballs and where they can fight in front of millions of people. If you don't have that, why bother going into a market? So I think PBC is going to go into these markets when they see the right platform is available for them to make a difference, like they're making a difference here, or they will be making a difference in the UK.
What's your take on Anthony Joshua versus Gerald Big Baby Miller? They said it's 80% done.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. I think it's a good fight. You know, I don't want to be like, you know, it's a good fight. I think it's a good fight, and I think it's long overdue for Joshua to come and fight in the UK. If I would have been involved in his career, I probably would have done that earlier. But you know, as they say, it's like better late than never. And so we'll see. So it should be an interesting fight.
Thank you. I got it.
No problem. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Richard. Appreciate it.